Hi guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be doing my Rust Belt series. I've decided to break this video down into 3 parts. I'll be doing right now my home state of Michigan. How will Trump be able to win Michigan in 2020? I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think he probably will win the state when it's all said and done. But of the 3 states, I think Michigan probably has the highest chance to flip blue. So we're going to analyze this map and see what exactly Donald Trump has to do to win in 2020 in the state of Michigan like he won it in 2016. We can look at the polls. I warn against the polling data because of how premature the polls are right now. Again, I don't take much into effect of Biden beating him by 10 in Michigan, simply for the fact that Joe Biden has a lot of dirt on him that's not being talked about right now. It just started to come out and he's plunging in the polls. In the primary polls. I did the video on that yesterday. But what I'm able to see here is that early on, Hillary was winning at a certain point by 10 to 15 points in the state. It's too early to gauge individual polls. We're going to be able to see that as we get closer. Now, again, what do we see here, though, that is good news for Donald Trump in the polling is the people that are rising in the primary, Warren and Harris. Trump is only down 3 to Warren and down under 3 to Harris. Remember, Michigan has bad polls. Usually, the polls skew Democrat in Michigan. And in this polls, for the 2016 aggregate before the election, Hillary was winning by almost 4 points. So if that aggregate apparently is the same amount of error, it seems like Trump's in the margin of error for beating Warren and beating Harris. It does seem like Harris may have gained ground. I think a lot of people had name recognition for Elizabeth Warren already, but it's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out. Harris is pretty far left. I don't think she's going to be able to win the state. I don't think she'd be able to rebuild the Obama coalition in a way a lot of the other pundits out there have been saying she will. But apparently, let's look at the exit polls now and compare the midterms to the general of 2016. So I'll be comparing that to the Senate race. I feel like the Senate race was more closely aligned to the national state environment. I feel like the governor's race was skewed Democrat because of an unpopular administration in the Snyder administration over in Lansing. So apparently, if you look at the exit polls, we can look at the exit polls here. The polls based off of race were roughly around the same, but white voters here favored Trump 21 points in the state of Michigan. By the way, it's interesting because Obama won the white vote in Michigan back in 2008. I believe he was close to it in 2012 as well. But in 2018, James won the white vote by around 8. Now, this could be described for a couple of reasons. Stabenow had very high name recognition in the state of Michigan. She was not too unpopular, and she really did a lot for the agricultural sector, so she definitely had more appeal in the rural areas than someone like Hillary Clinton or basically any 2020 Democrat candidate. Now, as you look deeper in this, the black percentage were roughly unchanged. James is a black man himself, so he probably did a little bit better based off of that alone. 2-point gain. Latino vote, relatively unchanged. It's a very small sample anyway, so you can't go off of that as much. As you look at this right here, it's true that the exit polls in 2016 did undersample whites without a college degree and oversampled whites with a college degree. So I don't exactly trust this especially because midterms are usually more educated. It's virtually impossible. CNN just got the points wrong. I think they were accidentally including associate degrees in terms of college graduates, which would probably make sense here. But whites without a degree, roughly around 60%. James got roughly that, maybe a little bit under. That's pretty much understandable. Stabenow, more name recognition. A lot of people with, not very well versed in politics who were Democrats before probably did vote for Stabenow. There's that as well in terms of that. Now, if you look at the party ID between both, it seems like 2018 more Republicans apparently voted. I think this might have to do with the Democrats that voting for Trump switching their party ID. So, as you can see here, only 4% of Democrats voted for John James. Now, more Republicans did vote for Stabenow. That's understandable as well. Another key thing here is union household. Trump is going to need to do better than a traditional Republican among union voters to win in 2020. Now, I feel like if he's going up against a Harris or if he's going up against a Warren, I feel like that's going to be easy for him to do. I don't think that this is partially why Trump will win the Rust Belt if he's going up against Warren or Harris. I think Biden could win Michigan based off, he probably is a little bit more union appeal, even though his trade policies are not very friendly to the people in the Midwest, the Rust Belt. So as you can see here, the union household voted for Stabenow by apparently a 24-point margin. They only voted for Hillary by a 13-point margin. It's possible that the union household vote is trending more Republican on a national level. So I do think that it's very possible that Trump could win that as well. As you can see here, the exit polls are a bit skewed because it's virtually impossible for Hillary to have won both these demographics and still win the election. So the exit polls are not 100% accurate, but you can get a gist of how the map of the state would look based on demographics such as union voters as well. A big key thing here is the trade thing. Apparently 50% say trade takes away jobs. Those voters clearly favored Trump. Now, if Trump is going up against Biden or Harris, somebody who is pro-free trade, he's going to do good. He's going to do pretty well there. As you can see here in terms of the tariffs, a lot of people in Michigan like the tariffs. Only 32% say it hurt, 32% say the tariffs have helped, and 31% say the tariffs have had no impact. Tax law is also relatively popular. 26% say it helped, 48% say no impact, and only 24% say it hurt, even though virtually impossible. People a little clouded by the media bias because over 80% of Americans had their taxes cut. Now, immigration is an issue here that Republicans are not exactly that popular because it's not really a big issue. There's not a whole lot of immigrants in the state of Michigan, especially from coming in from the southern border. So people might be a little more sympathetic even if they do vote for Trump in the general election. Now, here's a big key thing for the economy. Condition of the national economy. 64% say it's good. Now, here's why Trump won Michigan, and here's probably why he'll win it again. Look at the economy. I believe it should be down here somewhere. Here it is. Condition of the national economy. 3% said it was excellent. Now 17% say it's excellent, but that's not the biggest deal. It's 40% said it was good. Now 64% say the economy is good. Only 35% say the economy was poor. 59% say the economy is poor. That's a roughly a 25% swing in Donald Trump's favor. And if he wants to win Michigan in 2020, even though his approval's underwater, we can get to that in a minute as well, he needs to hammer home the economy. If he can mention the economy, talk about how well things are going for the economy, I really do think that, again, family's financial situation, only 16% got worse in Trump's presidency. 84% was either better or about the same. So that definitely is a key part in this, as well as you look at the main issues. 44% healthcare. I can tell you in the general election that probably will not be the biggest issue, as well as Democrats talking about taking away private healthcare. I don't think that that's going to lead to a massive margin in the Democrats' favor in terms of that. Also, another key thing here, most people in Michigan think the Russia investigation is BS. Most people say it is politically motivated. Even a big number of Democrats agree with that as well. The last key tidbit here, obviously Trump's approval here. We'll get to that in a second. Opinion of Donald Trump was at -20 on election day 2016. Opinion of Donald Trump now is at -11. It's possible it's gone up 1 or 2 points since then in the midterms. This is probably the best approval polls to use for predicting the midterms is the exit polls. Now, it was a blue skewed electorate, possibly. Republicans and rural area independents didn't turn out as much in rural areas. I'll show you that as well in a minute here. But Trump, he's going to need to continue getting more popular. I think he could. Now, Hillary Clinton had a 42%. She was down -14 as well. So it's possible Trump's opponent is going to be less popular than him as well. It's just a very polarized environment. Watch that Democratic debate stage. I don't find any candidate that has appeal to the people that ditched Obama for Trump in 2016. A lot of those people are sticking with Donald Trump in 2020. That's going to help him get reelected. Now, the area type is the last big thing here. So apparently, I don't know if this is necessarily a key problem or a key issue for Republicans in the midterms, but because the exit polls sample weird sometimes. Apparently, urban area remained unchanged, but rural areas, actually, the turnout was massively down. I don't know if this is a issue or why exactly what the issue is here, because the exit polls are not fully accurate when they get down and do things like this into little categories. But if this is the case, you could look at the rural areas. James won him by 8. Again, Stabenow has more appeal than Hillary did, and Stabenow probably has more appeal than any generic Democrat does, including Biden in the rural areas. As you can see, Trump winning these areas by 18, he'll probably win them by 20 or more, if we're being honest. Now, the key thing here is also suburban areas, 11 points in Trump's favor. James won them by 5, which is understandable. A lot of blue-collar suburbs in Michigan that could be trending red, so it's not like a nation as a whole where the suburbs are trending blue. Of course, maybe Oakland County goes blue, and maybe Kent County could flip, but again, Macomb County margins will be wider in Trump's favor, and Ottawa County margins, and et cetera, and he's getting closer in counties like Genesee and Saginaw as well, and he might flip Muskegon County, so if this is the case, then it might just be a turnout error. If Republicans need to turn out more, they'll probably be able to go out there and win if they turn out at the level that they did in 2016 in terms of a percentage-wise. And we're gonna have to easily turn out 65 to 66 million to win, unless because Democrats really max themselves out for a midterm year. It's going to be interesting to see what the total turnout's going to be in 2020. Their turnout might be lower. I mean, looking at that debate, it's just cringe after cringe. But as we get into the results, comparing the results between the midterm results, as you can see here, there were several counties that went for Trump, that went for that went for Stabenow. Leelanau County as well, and Gojibit County here. These are rural counties. They'll go for Trump. I think they'll go for James in 2020 as well. I think James will outperform Trump in 2020. He has a lot more name recognition now, and Stabenow, a lot more name recognition than Gary Peters. A lot of people were just not really a big fan of her, but would plug their nose because they just were comfortable with her. Key counties like Macomb County going for her, Kent County up here in Muskegon County went for her by around 8. I really think that that's a county that went for Hillary by a couple points. It's been trending red. I think that could go for Trump. And you see all these counties up here. Trump needs to run it up in these counties, probably get a higher percentage of the vote. And I think he very well could. Look at the policies he's put forward. Again, Macomb County going for him by 11. It could go for him by more than that. Keep the margin in Oakland County relatively not out of control. Under 10 points, maybe under 12. It's a county he very well could still win. Look at Wayne County. You definitely want to get up by 30%. I think he's probably going to gain around the same. He might gain a couple points because some of the areas of western Wayne County are more like Livonia, Michigan, more white, blue-collar areas that would appeal to Trump. I think he can definitely potentially improve his margins in some of those areas. Of course, you have some counties down here, Jackson, Calhoun. He just needs to improve his margins here as well. You have Eaton County, which is basically, these are Lansing suburbs up here. Obviously, he's not going to flip Ingham. But he's definitely got a shot to flip some of these other counties. Or not flip, but just push them further to the right. You need turnout. Turnout in these areas is very key. In 2018, as you can see here, James lost Macomb by 2. If James won Macomb by Trump margins, and if Trump came down to Macomb County and did a rally with John James, he probably would have won Macomb County. Probably could have won Kent County, which he only lost by 800 votes. Again, these are all places where Trump needs to win. I think Trump probably would have won if he was on the ballot, but a swing of 5 points nationally easily could have adjusted for Trump's approval and et cetera, given John James a victory in 2018. But it's hard to win in a midterm year where your party doesn't turn out to vote as much. So Trump just needs to get the vote out in order to win in 2020. And it's kind of a similar story in Wisconsin, and to a lesser extent in Pennsylvania. It's harder to gauge. simply for the fact that the midterm elections were just a big win for a lot of moderate, more sane Democrats. I think their senator that won was pro-life there, so it's definitely you're kind of comparing apples to oranges. But if you look at the facts of rural Pennsylvania, Trump's key support there, especially with energy independence, other things like that, are really going to be skyrocketing in those places as well. But guys, that's basically about it for this video. Trump can very well win the state of Michigan. Again, I'll put that in his column just for the sake of this video. It's going to take things like turnout to happen. I think that the Republican Party in Michigan, they have a new co-chair. I think they're going to get it together. I really think that they are going to be able to win the state if they play their cards right. But the number one issue, talk about the economy. People here love the economy. You saw that in the exit polls. Even some Democrats, if Trump wants to expand his base, make sure you have a good economy. Talk about your economy. It's going to happen. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to get me to 6,000 and hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media and donate to my Patreon, links in description. And before you go, be sure to click on the screen for one of my other recent videos. Thanks again for watching, guys. Red Eagle, out.